Have you ever felt that gut-wrenching twist in your stomach when you suspect something is terribly wrong in your relationship? That was my life a year ago. My name's Mark, and I thought I had it all. A loving wife, Sarah, a beautiful home, and a life we built together over 10 years. But then, small things started feeling off. The late nights at work, the constant texting with a new friend from yoga, the way she'd flinch when I touched her phone. My gut was screaming at me, but my heart refused to listen. One evening, my suspicion turned into a cold, hard certainty. I came home early, hoping to surprise her, and found her car missing. Her location services, which she'd forgotten to turn off, painted a clear picture. She wasn't at a late meeting. She was at a downtown hotel. I felt the world drop out from under me. For a moment, I just sat in my car, unable to breathe. Rage, betrayal, and a profound sadness washed over me all at once. My first instinct was to storm into that hotel, to confront them, to cause a scene. But then, a different thought took hold. A cold, clear, and calculating thought. Why should I be the only one to suffer? Why should I be the one whose world is shattered while they just move on? No, if my world was going to burn, I was going to make sure she felt the heat. This wasn't going to be a messy, emotional confrontation. This was going to be a masterpiece. My masterpiece of revenge. The planning began that very night. The first step was to gather irrefutable proof. I couldn't just rely on a single GPS location, so I became a detective in my own home. I installed a small, discreet recording device in her car and a keylogger on our shared home computer. It felt like a violation, but what she was doing was a far greater one. The things I heard and read confirmed my worst fears, and then some. It wasn't just a fling. It was a full-blown affair with her boss, a man named David, a man I'd met at company parties, a man who had shaken my hand and smiled to my face. They talked about their future together, about how Sarah would eventually leave me. They mocked me, calling me predictable, boring, and naive. Each word was a fresh stab to the heart, but it also fueled my resolve. I meticulously saved every text, every email, and every recording. I had a growing mountain of evidence, a digital testament to her deceit. I continued to play the part of the loving, unsuspecting husband. I'd ask about her day, listen to her fabricated stories about work stress, and even offer her a back rub. The entire time, my mind was a whirlwind of checklists and timelines. While gathering evidence, I started phase 2, financial separation. I consulted a lawyer, quietly of course. We went through all our shared assets. I learned that in our state, infidelity could significantly impact the division of assets in a divorce. Excellent. I began moving my personal savings into new, separate accounts. I documented every major purchase we'd made together, preparing for the financial fallout. I was building a fortress while she was busy planning her escape. She had no idea that the safety net she thought she had was being systematically dismantled by the very person she was betraying. The grand finale was all about timing and public humiliation. Her biggest event of the year was approaching, the company's annual awards gala. It was a huge deal for her and her boss, David. They were both up for a major promotion. Her entire professional world would be there, including David's wife. Oh, did I forget to mention David was married too? His wife, a lovely woman I'd also met, had no idea what was going on. I felt a pang of guilt for what I was about to do to her, but she deserved to know the truth about the man she was married to. She was a victim in this, just like me. The plan was set for the night of the gala. A few days before, I created a simple, anonymous website. I uploaded everything: the text messages, the audio clips from her car, screenshots of their romantic emails. Even hotel receipts I'd managed to find. I timed it perfectly. The website was set to go live at exactly 9 p.m., right when the main award ceremony would be starting. And to make sure everyone saw it, I did something a little extra. I hired a service to send an anonymous text message to every single person on the gala's guest list. A list I'd managed to get from a sympathetic contact in the event planning department. The text was simple. Curious what Sarah and David are really celebrating tonight? Find out the truth, followed by a link to the website. The night of the gala, Sarah looked stunning in a new dress. She kissed me goodbye, telling me she wished I could be there. "I'll be thinking of you," she said. "Oh, I know you will," I replied, my voice dripping with an irony she completely missed. I stayed home, watching the clock. At 9 p.m., I hit the launch button. I can only imagine the scene. Hundreds of phones lighting up at once. The confused looks turning to shock and horror, the whispers spreading like wildfire. Sarah and David sitting at the head table, suddenly the center of a very different kind of attention. I later heard from a friend who was there that David's wife saw the sight, stood up, threw a glass of water in his face, and walked out. Sarah just froze, her face turning pale as she realized what was happening. It's her professional reputation, her affair. Her carefully constructed lies all went up in flames in a single, glorious, public inferno. When she finally came home hours later, she found me sitting in the living room, surrounded by packed boxes. My boxers. The divorce papers were laid out neatly on the coffee table. She tried to cry, to apologize, to explain, but I just looked at her, completely empty of the love I once felt. "There's nothing to say, Sarah," I said calmly. "Everyone already knows." My revenge was complete. It didn't fix my broken heart overnight, but it gave me something she had taken away: control. It was a brutal, calculated end to our story, but it was the closure I needed to start writing my next chapter. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've ever been through something similar, know that you're not alone, and you will get through it. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more real-life stories.